Happy moneymakers, let's talk about Hmbl, ticker symbol HMBL, OTC traded stock. We have been touching upon this stock on and off on this channel. If you want to hear more about this stock and me reviewing this stock consistently, click the like button and letting me know that we can cover this more and more, and there is some interest. Subscribe to the channel as well, turn on the notification bell, all that kind of stuff. We have seen Hmbl went 16% up in last trading session. A few things I want to talk about in terms of Hmbl. The first one is the acquisition that we can talk. There was an announcement from OTC market. I'll leave you with this article as well. Powerful reversal that used to be sub 10 cent stock, sub dime stock. It was a deep and now it got back up with the 16% spike. We want to talk about the acquisition news that Hmbl enters into the asset acquisition agreement with BizSecure. I want to also talk about the reverse split possibility based on what I see on George Sharp's Twitter handle, and we'll talk about that. And the third thing I want to talk about is the ETS subscription suspension for the product that Hmbl just announced before a few days. So let's jump into it. Before I go ahead, I just wanted to ask that hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and write down in the comment section below if you want me to cover this on a consistent basis. I've been looking into a few more stocks. I covered Zomedica Corp in my previous video. We have been covering ILUS, HCMC, and CYBL a lot. Some of the situation to explain why this OTC and PennyStocks are going down. One of the reason is the international whatever is happening with Russia and Ukraine, as you already know, that can get better. The second thing is inflation. We are looking forward to hear from Fed what they think. Third thing is the interest rate. 6, 7, 8% inflation is too much for the United States, so we gotta clear that out. But I think Fed is looking into it pretty closely, and they'll be coming out with some of the alternatives and workarounds as to how to make things better. So that will become better. Supply chain management is getting better a lot as well. In terms of the pandemic, we have seen the numbers are looking pretty good as well. So I do believe that the stock market at least can stable. I'm not saying it'll spike up 5, 10, 15% because we're not just out of danger zone yet, but you want to do a little bit more due diligence before you buy or sell this penny stocks, because at the end of the day, that's your money, your call, your investment. It's risk versus reward. But I have been looking into further so many stocks, but as you see, we are seeing 16, 17, 20% spike in just one day in many penny stocks, not only in penny stocks, also in growth stocks. Let's take a look. We saw the bottom for Hmbl around 8-9 cents this week. February 24th, we saw 9.3, and the lowest for 52 week is 8.7. So we do see a low, but we spiked up pretty quickly. So let's take a look. From that low, we saw 42% spike. So 8 cents, 9 cents to 13 cents. Or rather, we went to about 15 cents. Now, why the stock is going down? Let's talk about it. First and foremost, we have seen some stock dilution, which is causing some of the pain. $1.08, we got to 13 cents. Now, the stock is trying to get uplisted on NASDAQ. So the company is looking into getting uplisted to NASDAQ. They're making all the moves that they need to do. There might be some reverse split coming up as well. So this particular article, Hmbl Inc. Powerful reversal, sub 10 cents deep as the payment. Where it looks up to list on national exchange. Now, on the northbound of this brief deep dive last week, touching 8 cents before reversing to the upside. Now, from that price point, I do believe that it's going to do double very soon. So if you bought around 8-9 cents, congratulations, you're gonna double the money. Now, I do not have a crystal ball. I'm just saying based on what I see in terms of the volume, in terms of the reversal, in terms of the push that it has. A dime looks cheap for the stock. That was the biggest runner in 2020, skyrocketing from the sub penny, starting from TSNP and running into the multi-dollar Hmbl. Now let's take a look what it did. So $6.64, that was all-time high or 52-week high, and right now we are in fraction of that $6 price range. So that's definitely something to look into. Their market cap is $1 billion plus, with the post split $7.72, 131 million. So we further need to identify what's going on, the market cap that is listed here. But in terms of Hmbl, there is a massive investor behind it, and the run quicks and the stock volume leader on the OTC market. So everything is aligned at the moment. HMBL continues on its major marketing initiatives recently getting some more celebrities on board with this Grammy nomination artist that they're mentioning, sold over 130 million records on both the solo artists as well as some of the Backstreet Boys, so on and so forth. Now, first and foremost, we want to see the volume. The average volume is 12.5 million, whereas Hmbl did 11.6 million, while it spiked up that 16 to 17% as you see on this portal. Now, Hmbl entered into the asset acquisition agreement with BSecure as well. Now, what this means is basically what they have done. So, if you are new to this company, they acquired the mobile identification company verification credentials and blockchain tokenization platform for BSecure. Now, everything that you see in terms of the cryptocurrency is run via the blockchain technology, as well as its employee and consulting resources they also have acquired. With this acquisition, one thing that you want to note is this is not going to be stock dilution. They just use the stocks. Their CEO freed up or retired some stocks to help and support the company's expansion and growth as well. With this extensive acquisition, Hmbl will be a new commercial division called Hmbl Blockchain Services, which is based on name for the Hmbl, which will introduce and deliver blockchain corporate and governance solutions as well. It is unquestionable that the corporate and government around the world are entering into the blockchain decade, ranging from mobile identification to decentralizing tokenization inside the mobile wallet. That's what their CEO, BSecure, told us. And we are excited as their CEO continues. We're excited to join Hmbl team to help navigate through our client. With this acquisition, this service will be executing some of the existing United States Air Force contract to perform mobile identification and flight card testing on the blockchain, which will naturally enable the pursuit of additional corporate and government contracts. The BSecure team runs on hard work, regulatory compliance, and blockchain technology innovation, exactly what we wanted from Hmbl as the blockchain services, said the CEO of Hmbl. With this acquisition, where the money comes from, where the funding comes from, so let's take a look. With BSecure partnering, they received 13.2 million shares of common stocks and 26.8 million restricted stocks that will vest over a 2-year period with an estimated value of $6.8 million US based on the market closing price on February 11, 2022. Now, to ensure there is no dilution, because dilution caused some pain for Hmbl in the past, the shareholders that are part of the acquisition, Hmbl CEO mentioned that they personally cancel this amount of his own Series B preferred shares to offset this 40 million shares that is issued as a payment for this BSecure team. With additional acquisition, Hmbl entered into the employment and consulting agreement with its following team members to lead Humbl's blockchain services division effectively immediately. So this is once again a great news that you want to think about. We have seen Hmbl went to a pretty low level of the price points. Let's take a look. 870 we saw on 24th of February. Since then, it is 50%, more than 50% up. 8 cents, if you add 4 cents, 4.5 cents, we are looking at 50% up that we already did for Hmbl. Came to 12.13 cents closed in the last trading session on Friday's market with the 11.6 million volume. Now, if you want to further consider that we've seen 27, 28 cents, 30 cents in terms of the price point just before a month. So we can very well get back if things work out well, because Hmbl is no different than any other OTC stock. However, there are some caution or precautions or news that you should be aware of. One is the reverse split. Personally, I'm not really a big fan of reverse split. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor, so you should do your own due diligence. This is my personal thoughts and ideas. Reverse split doesn't really help out, but they're mentioning that there will be a minimal or a smaller number of reverse split. So let's get into that reverse split stuff before we go into further this news and the article around ETX subscription, because I think I have an idea why the company might be doing that. Now, with this George Sharp telling us about this particular reverse split, here is the tweet that I got. Will there be another RS reverse split? Yes, probably a small one eventually, but only if it is in the best interest of the shareholder. Don't forget, I'm one, says George Sharp, which means a big one. Running a company, especially an emerging one, requires money, and Hmbl has some of the top mind blockchain as well. So there might be some minimal reverse split coming up. The reason could be they want to get uplisted on some of the national stock exchanges, and they might be looking for further price point in terms of getting up and listed on those markets. Now, what happens? Maybe this will help if Hmbl does reverse split. The conversion rate of the preferred B B will be affected by the same ratio. I thought this was a given. So last time when there was stock dilution happened, or reverse split happened, the preferred B share did not affect, if I am correct. You want to verify that for me, but from what I know and what I remember, I do believe that last time the preferred B were not affected. Now this time, based on what George Sharp says, if this comes out true, that means preferred B will be in the same bucket as any other shares, which means that they will be also impacted. By the way, this is all happening because they want to get uplisted on some of the bigger stock exchanges, which is given. Now the authorized share structure 7.4 billion, outstanding shares pretty high, 1.1 billion. Looking at the float, 812 million, with the market cap of 152 million, as you see on the OTCmarkets.com. Now, one thing that you also want to remember is Hmbl also suspended the block ETX subscription product because they don't really want to argue with SEC while they want to get uplisted on some of the bigger stock exchanges. Hmbl has announced, this was a very recent article, February 14, that the suspension of the block ETX subscription product, Hmbl financial customers are not required to take any actions. All subscriptions will be automatically cancelled on a given date. That already happened, February 18, 2022. Additionally, monthly subscription fees for January, February 2022 will be refunded as well. The company says that we do not really believe that our non-custodial algorithmic agreement software as a service, so SaaS, block ETX subscription products are securities, nor that their underlying digital assets are securities, said Humbl's CEO. However, they extended. However, after additional dialogue with SEC surrounding our S1 filing, we have determined that this is the best path forward in the approval processes. So they don't really want to get any hurdles when they are trying to list it or uplist on the market and national stock exchanges. In the meantime, Hmbl Financial will be continue working as on their future product line, have the greater level of potential licensing and regulatory clarity. Now, what this means, at the moment they're suspending that, but that may come back in sometime in future once the situation stabilized, or they come up with further clarifying arguments or the points and the workaround that they can convince SEC and other boards and other authorities. So you want to keep that in mind. By the way, Hmbl having it 8-9 cents, that was a pretty good deal. 13 cents, you really need to find out where the market overall is going. In terms of the inflation we already talked about the Russia and Ukraine, whatever is going on, that might stabilize in upcoming future because they have gone too far, in my opinion, that I did not really expect it. Looking at Nasdaq, it turned around in the last trading session with 221 point plus. Dow Jones very similar, close to 850 points, 2.51% up. S&P was up by 2.25% more or less. Whereas so many penny stocks, we have seen that rebounding with the financial earnings season that we are entering into. Most of the companies are sharing their revenue and financial numbers. Take a look what Hmbl does. Hmbl has been spending a ton of money, negative $12.31 million in net income in September, which is Q3 2021. March, very similar thing with $156,000 in revenue. They spent about 1.44 million negative net cash income. Very similar story for future in the past, some of the quarters as well. That may turn around as Hmbl progresses. Hmbl acquires more and more company and they're trying to be profitable. You want to find out what exactly your price point. If you want to take a look real quick, we want to see that we were at 30 cents. Our volume was lower than what we see today. And as we slower down in terms of, or as we went low and cut down in half rather right here, right? We started seeing higher and higher and higher volume. So the volume is pretty good. In terms of 12 cents, 13 cents, I do believe that it had just a run for 50% right now. So you want to define what the price point you want to get in. But if you take a look right here, our moving average shows that we are at 25 cents, whereas the real-time price is around 13 to 14 cents as you see on my screen. Now, I like to see the RSI, what I see on my screen, 34. Do your own due diligence. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.